Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Explode Your Expert Business Show. And today I'm here with the one and only Natasha Thompson. How are you doing, Natasha?
I'm great, thanks, Simone. How are you?
I am incredibly well, and I'm really excited to have you on the show. We are talking about 3 ways to get more clients. So I'm really looking forward to hear what these 3 ways are. But before we get into it, tell us a bit more about your background.
So I've got a background in professional services. I've worked at some of the largest companies in the world, like Deloitte and EY, in a variety of roles, ranging from account management to events, to bid consultancy and coaching. I'm not quite sure how I ended up in that kind of sector, but I've learned an awful lot. It's really taught me a lot, and yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. I guess in terms of my personality and who I am and where I'm from, I'm a South London girl. I'm from Croydon, and I actually I think one of I've just I can't speak straight. Sorry. I was just going to say I'm probably quite varied, quite dynamic. I like talking. I'm a thinker. I love that connection that comes from people. So yeah, that's just I guess a little bit about me.
Thank you for sharing. And I know, I'm curious now. You said that you didn't know how you end up in that industry.
Yeah,
So you've been consulting for some really big firms.
yeah.
The how like how did you end up there, like because is this is apparently, from what I'm understanding, is not something that you set yourself to do, like when I grow up I will be a business consultant.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. It's an interesting question. I've always liked the variety that I guess large companies can offer, and that's really important to me. I tend to work better when I've got more things on, and it was just I'd heard of those brands. I worked at EY, and I thought, actually, why not give it a go? I liked the role that was being offered, and I just thought it'd be a really good opportunity. And it's just kind of gone on from then, really. Just sort of always stayed in that space, but always taken on new roles and made sure I've always kept myself learning and developing. And you know, I've benefited from it. You know, there's lots of perks to working for some large organisations.
Absolutely. What do you like about doing consulting work?
I think I like the fact that people are looking to you for advice. It's quite solution focused, outcome driven. It allows me to tap into my creative side, I guess. You know, I can be quite random. You know, one of my friends calls me Alternatash because I'm always quite good at seeing alternatives and different ways of doing things and coming up with options and possibilities. And I feel that that comes quite naturally to me. And when I'm working on bids, you'd have to think differently. And I've always enjoyed that. Also, that I guess sounding element piece, sounding board. Sorry, I'm a natural listener. I get on with people. People tell me things I don't want to know, and I've recognised in a way that's a skill in itself. So, I feel I'm at a stage in my life and career where I'm really playing to my strengths, which is a lovely place to be in because not everybody gets there. So I'm very grateful for all of the experiences I've had that have allowed me to get to where I am now.
It is a really blessed space, in particular when we know what we love and we know what we want, and we can go for it. We can say, actually, this is my lane. This
Yeah,
is what I love to do.
yeah,
Considering that there are millions of people on the planet that they're just like taking what is given to them without
yeah.
even like creating consciously what they really want. So
Mm, mm,
really great place to be.
yeah.
I'm curious if there was like any project that you worked while you were at one of these big companies that stood out for you, or something that that had a really sweet place in your heart.
Um, well, actually, I would say when I sort of became a bid advisor at Deloitte and winning my first bid, that
Hmm.
always, that's got a really lovely place in my heart because for me, it was kind of a validation of trusting my instincts and
Right.
getting out of my comfort zone. Um, as a team, we were a really innovative team. We changed the way to win new work. So it's great to be involved in that. But that kind of satisfaction of winning that kind of first bid was really lovely. It's a great feeling, actually. So I'm really proud of myself for that.
What project was that? What was the bid that you won about?
I don't actually know if I can disclose it.
Oh, okay, right. No, we don't. Let's move on. I don't want like the Secret Services coming here in my house and then knocking down the door and deleting the recording of the show. So we'll leave it that for another time. Now, I know you mentioned that with your team, you were very innovative. You changed the way of winning business. And I think that's a nice segue to what we're going to talk about today, which is actually winning business. You mentioned that there are 3 ways of winning business, getting new clients that you've done in your work. So what are those 3 ways?
So I think for me, there's lots of different ways, but these are the kind of things that I always try and bring in when I'm working with people or teams. And I guess the 3 things, I'll start with you. The second one is get clear on your offer. And the third one is people by people. So I guess just to talk really briefly about them, the first one, start with you. So I'm a coach, I'm a qualified coach. And for me, starting with yourself and understanding who you are and what's really important to you is kind of the kind of good foundation that you really, really just want to build upon. And once you've got that clarity, things just fall into place. Things become so much more easier. So I really like to encourage people to just spend a bit of time thinking about what their motivations are. Especially from a bidding point of view, a really great question to ask yourself is why you want to win this bid. It's a very simple question, but sometimes it's not asked. And that allowing yourself that space to just reflect on those motivations, how things are really going to help you. For me, it's just a really great foundation. And we don't often allow ourselves that time to reflect. We get busy, we get stressed, and often it's only when things are, or when we're feeling really bad, that we are almost forced to then start reflecting.
When COVID hits, and now the whole world is upside down, and then you stop. Maybe am I doing why do I want this?
Yeah, it's so true. But for me, it's something that I would love it to become part of our self-care routine. It's just almost like brushing your teeth or something. Don't wait till things get really bad. This is something that we can all come back to throughout our lives. So for me, that's just I think a really useful tip. Just kind of start with you. And then my second tip is around, or suggestions around, get clear on your offer. So again, this is like a really kind of basic, solid foundation, sort of one of the basics. Spend that time thinking about what it is you're offering. Is it actually needed, or is it just what you can do? So again, relating it to bidding, a lot of the time people will just list all the things that they can do, even if it's not what the prospective client wants or needs. So really encourage people to just get out there and clarify that offer and make sure it is tailored to what the client wants. Don't be afraid to kind of have those conversations. Understand that yes, you can do things, but it's got to be what the client is really needing to solve that problem that they've got.
Why do you think people don't take that time to think about themselves and what they want and clarifying their offers, and they just go through the motion? What do you think is the reason why?
I don't think there's one single reason. I think it's a combination of, you might be under pressure to hit a deadline, make sure you're hitting your revenue target. It could be, why not? It's like I've got nothing else to do sometimes. No, but seriously, I don't think I don't think people like to do deep thinking sometimes. That might be a horrible generalization. Get the words out eventually, because it takes time. And we all say we're time poor, but we're probably not really focusing on the things that are important, which is why, going back to the first point about starting with you get that clarity up front, so you'll be saving time going forward. And there's just a few of the things why.
I agree with you. I think sometimes doing deep thinking is uncomfortable for people. If I have to think about areas in my life where I avoided with that. It was just because either I wasn't comfortable in that particular area, or I know that I might have found answers that I didn't really want to find. And so I would say, no, just let's keep going this way. Let's keep going this way until it's like, bam.
Yeah.
And now I was like, okay, actually it's time to think, and it's time to make this decision. It's time to think about myself and what's important for me, to review the offer. I'm thinking about even GTeX and the work that we did during COVID. We changed a lot of our offers. It's like before we had about 37 different offers that we could do, and then now we have 5. So
Wow, that's quite a streamline.
6. So it was a big streamline. And it's not that what we did before wasn't necessary, because these 5 or 6 that we have now, they are the combination of the learnings and what we built in the 37s that we had. But it was just like a time to realize, you know what, I knew our business was too complex. We needed to simplify things, and that created that space to do that.
It's great. Well done.
Thank you. What's the next one?
And then the third and final one is, it's an oldie but it's a goodie. People by people. And you know, it's so true. And you know, I think, you know, we've all been in those situations where you just meet someone and you just get on with them, or you buy something, like if you're lucky enough to buy a property, you know, if you think about those reasons, you know, it's a feeling. And it's exactly the same when, you know, you want somebody to make a decision and buy from you. They are buying you. They are not buying your product. They are buying you. So really try and encourage people to allow themselves to be seen, you know, let people see who you are, give them an idea of what you're like and what your personality is like. And it's all very well on paper having the right creds and knowing that you can do the work, but you know, if they meet you and they don't like you, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. True. You know, so I always like to encourage people in teams to just be genuine, be authentic, just be you. And you know, don't take things personally if you don't win work. Just use it as a chance to just reflect on how you could be coming across or what you could do differently. You know, I'm a big believer in timing. You know, I think the right people come into your life at the right time. So you know, these don't take things personally. If you know that client decides not to buy from you, there's probably the right one around the corner. So just you know, just really encourage people to just be themselves. And you know, we all know when we like something's off, you know, or if we've been asked to do something that just doesn't feel comfortable. You know, that's a sign. Just allow your uniqueness to shine through.
What would you say to those people? Or like, even how can people avoid pretend to be that they are someone that they are not, or just be like authentic? And the reason why I'm asking, because there are, in particular in business, there are some situations where you might be in social environment, and I'm talking about personally, experience I had personally, that I will go into an environment and I feel that now I have the need to prove that I'm worthy to be there. And so I will start like behaving in ways that I would not normally do or think, or just not be fully relaxed and almost over analyzing what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, just because I want to fit in there, being a good recovering people pleaser. And while there are other situations where I'm like, I'm just comfortable, I can fully be myself. It's like I walk in, I own the room, I want to be quiet, I'm quite like, I don't really care. But there are others where I feel that extra pressure. So do you have any piece of advice for these situations?
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I think one thing that has always helped me is I'm comfortable with knowing not everybody will like me, and I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And you know, I have been comfortable with that from school, so from a young age, and also I know I'm loved. You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't expect everybody to like and love me, but I know people do like and love me, and that, you know, that's, I always kind of hold on to that. So you know, that might work for some people, but also I think just being comfortable with you and knowing you and trusting your abilities, you know, especially in bidding, when it comes to the presentation, people get quite nervous about that.
Yeah.
And I always try and encourage them, you know, they want to hear from you. You are an expert, you can help them. So, you know, let that encourage you, let that be a confidence boost for you. So yeah, those are just two kind of little tips and suggestions that may help.
That's brilliant. I would love to know one more thing actually regarding the topic of being you and winning on personality. Is there like a moment where maybe you were bidding on something or a contract and you know you won 100% because of your personality?
I wouldn't say I know I've won. So I can get an instinct from the teams based on feedback. So one thing I always try and encourage teams to do is just get feedback throughout that process, because it allows you to tailor your approach and just, I guess, test any messaging. But I think if you've got the solid offer and the right blend of team with the right personality, that's the right fit for the client. You know, you can kind of sense actually you're going to win, but I've been proved wrong on many occasions. But yeah, that might be political. But yeah, I think just my kind of core thing when it comes to the people by people is just be yourself. Let people see who you are. You know, because there's nothing more disheartening than thinking you know someone and then, you know, you see another side to them almost.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really important in work that, you know, you're professional, but you be yourself.
That's brilliant. And so what are we looking at? Start from yourself, then having a good offer, and also let your personality shine through. And then this becomes a really good component to, you know what you want, you know that you have something that other people want, and then you know that you can create that connection.
Yeah.
So then that sale can go through. That's brilliant. Really good piece of advice. And so everyone, make sure that if you're listening right now, like if you're driving, stop driving, take notes. And if you're don't take notes while driving, or and implement the strategies, because maybe you know that you need to spend a bit more time thinking about yourself, or maybe you know you need to spend a bit more time thinking about your offer. Maybe you know that you need to spend a bit more time just letting people know you, who you are, and not the version that you expect them to see, which is a really powerful thing. So Natasha, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here on the show. It's been a great interview. If someone wants to reach out to you, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. So you can visit my website, which is www.natashamthompson.com, and you can contact me via the various links on that page.
All right, that's brilliant. So natashamthompson.com.
Yeah.
The link is going to be in the show notes as well, the link on all the social media. So then make sure you connect to Natasha, keep in touch with her, and see the work that she's up to. So then you can as well, if you're looking for more clients, if you're looking for better ways to attract clients, then you can work with her. Highly recommended. So Natasha, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you, Simone. Pleasure. Great chat. Take care.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening, or thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe to the show, and also let us know, leave us a review and let us know what you enjoyed about this interview. What takeaway did you get? We would love to know, and this also will help the show reach more people, so your reviews matter. Thank you for the support. Thank you for being here with us today. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. And until then, remember that together we grow exponentially. Ciao.